Hi, welcome to the Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the hosts this evening. I keep saying this evening. I'm really trying to not. Michael, followed by other host.
Cut it out. And
Sage. Nope.
All right.
We commit to the failures.
He's a one-take kind of guy.
I'm pretty sure we very rarely ever started again. I think we've done it maybe twice in the 130 plus episodes.
I believe it. Love it.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll get there. I believe in you.
Yeah. Well, you know, we also want to cut back from the 5-week gap, but we can't do that because you guys are incompetent at committing to showing up for Anime Club.
Problem child.
It's mostly Kat, let's be real.
Yeah.
Because of her and her fucking work.
Yeah. How dare she work? How dare she make money?
Yeah, seriously. I would really love to be able to do that, though, but I just don't think we can.
No. We have 100 subscribers. Like, I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
111.
It's true. We've gone up a few. Anyway. So.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, as Cultured Corner does, we talk culture.
Yeah.
But not the spicy culture today.
Yeah, we're talking about Mission Impossible. Primarily 1 through 4 because those are the only ones I've seen so far. And because I have never seen these movies before in my life. Mainly because I don't really like Tom Cruise. And I never had, like, interest in them.
Look, Tom Cruise as a person, insane. Tom Cruise as an actor, love the man to death.
He is good. Which, speaking of Tom Cruise as an actor, I recently watched Tropic Thunder. And you remember my entire, like, long-winded diatribe as to why I don't like it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I don't know what movie I was thinking of because I was watching it and I was like, I definitely never saw this movie.
Tropic Thunder is incredible.
I definitely never saw this movie ever in my life because
it's fucking hilarious.
Not one thing was like ringing a bell. It was really funny.
You've heard what his demands were to be in the movie, right?
No.
When Ben Stiller approached him to be in the movie, he was like, Ben, if I'm going to do this, I want 2 things. I want to dance and I want fat hands.
I was going to ask, I was like, why are his hands so thick?
Yeah, no, those were his 2 things. I want to dance and I want to have fat hands.
Yeah, so him in Tropic Thunder was really good. I take back everything I said bad about Tropic Thunder. I don't know what I was.
Right? That's
yeah,
his name? Yeah.
I don't know what I was talking about. I think I don't even know what movie I was thinking was Tropic Thunder. But yeah, it was really funny.
Hilarious movie.
Really funny. Like, I don't think that movie could be made today because people would just get too outraged for like no reason.
It's really well. It's funny because like every now and then Tropic Thunder makes a circuit of people being like, "There's blackface in this movie, cancel it," and then like a bunch of people like I remember there was a big thing when that came out and Jamie Foxx was on like an interview, their talk show or something. He was like, "It's not offensive blackface because the whole point of the movie is that the actor is in the wrong."
Yeah, the whole
point is that he is wrong for doing it.
Yeah,
and that's the commentary that actors take things to such extremes that they would think this is okay when it isn't.
Yeah,
like that's the point.
Yeah,
like it's not. Hey, let's just do a blackface.
I think people who have that argument either didn't watch the movie. Or they watched the movie and like
missed the point. Didn't
understand that it's like meant to be over the top and ridiculous and satire, and also be like
of method actors.
Yeah, exactly. Of like method actors who just do like way too much.
Yeah. And
they go into that pushing to that point of being like, okay, this is becoming unethical now.
Right.
But no, I thought the movie was really funny. I think Tom Cruise is really good as Les Grossman. So funny. The dancing scenes, I was like, what am I watching right now?
It's one of his most insane roles. Like, and it's there for, 5 minutes of total screen time?
Like, he just goes balls to the walls. It's just so funny. Like, fully committed to the bit. And I appreciate that.
He's also, from what I hear, is an insane person, but also a really nice person.
Yeah, I feel like Tom Cruise is a mixed bag. I primarily don't like him mainly because like it's weird. Like I've seen movies where he's younger, like in his earlier career, and I think he's a good actor, but just something about him rubs me the wrong way, and I like don't enjoy him, if that makes sense. And I think a part of it is I don't think he's handsome, and everyone and their mother thinks he's handsome, and I'm like,
he's pretty handsome.
I don't know. I know it's just a me thing. It's like how I don't think Ryan Gosling is that handsome. Like I don't think he's unattractive by any means, but I have never understood.
Wait, hold on. You don't find Ryan Gosling attractive?
No, I'm saying I do think he is handsome and attractive. I just don't think he's this god of beauty.
I don't know. Did you
Like,
see him in the Barbie movie?
I sure did. Like, I just never agreed with every woman in the world being like, he's the hottest man to ever grace the earth. I'm like,
All right, well, I mean, not that, but I will exaggerate to the fact that he is.
but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something.
But also the fact that Tom Cruise is like fucking what 60 something now, and he's still pretty hot.
He's getting up there in age,
Oh,
and
let
I
me
think
pull
he
up.
still looks good. I guess.
I mean, dude, he's fucking ripped too. Like
I know, but
he's
like
61.
I just don't. I never viewed him as like eye candy.
I do think it's really funny how much his look varies based on his hair.
Yes.
Like,
Him with long hair, terrible.
oh, terrible.
Horrible.
So bad.
Like
but then you
Mission
cut,
Impossible 2 with the long hair. I was
Yeah.
like, this is not helping that I already don't think you're like super mega handsome, and now
Yep.
you look even less super mega handsome. Like, this is a horrible haircut for you.
Yeah, and
never have this haircut again.
And then like it's funny because through the Mission Impossibles, his hair length like
yeah, it changes.
changes. And like it really depends. Like sometimes you're like he's pretty handsome in this movie, and then other times you're like, that's not the hair for you, bud. Your handsome points are down.
Your handsome points are down. Like young Tom Cruise, like Top Gun, or like what's like the military movie he's in? A Few Good Men.
There's Edge of Tomorrow.
No, it's him.
He's
like,
in a lot of movies.
I know it's him younger, and he's in like the Air Force or the Marines or something.
Yeah. That's the movie.
Yeah.
Him and Kevin Bacon, right? I think it's him, Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland, Jack Nicholson.
I was gonna say I thought it was him and Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize Kevin Bacon was in that movie.
Aaron Sorkin too,
Anyway,
and Demi Moore.
like in those early years of his career, I think that was when his hair was the most consistent and the most flattering
Right.
for his face. But then once he starts experimenting in like the 90s with this long hair bullshit, I'm like, you need to stop. This looks terrible.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
But anyway, about Mission Impossible. I watched the 4th movie the other day because it was on TV. And I was like, I've never seen these movies. And Mark was telling me that they're really good. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like,
Because most of them are.
who cares, right? So I was watching it and I was like, yeah, this is all right. Like, a little slow for my taste, but like good production value.
Yeah.
It's fine.
The biggest thing with Tom Cruise movies and why I do usually tend to love them so much is because he commits to doing everything as much as possible.
I know.
Like
He's
that's
a crazy
that, yeah,
person.
like that's the appeal for me is like when I'm seeing stuff I'm like that's probably actually happening.
I will be honest. So because I like went into these movies already knowing that he like is very into doing stunts and things like that, which I will say the movies are really good at highlighting his skills.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
It's like the John Wick movies. You go into them being like, you can love this immensely just because you know what you're seeing is real.
Right. And the movie does those movies also highlight all of his skills.
Yeah.
You know, so then it seems like even better.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but in my brain, I thought Mission Impossible was like more action heavy. So I was like going into it kind of expecting like more action to be going on.
Gotcha.
Not like, I knew it was like spy, like espionage, sneaky type deal stuff.
Right.
But I thought it was that with action, you know, like double genre at the same time type deal.
Right.
So then when there was like very little action, I was like, wait, what? What's going on here?
Well, yeah. I mean, it is really just a lot of like action scene. Anyway, something's happening. We need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Action scene. We need to figure out the next plan.
I felt like in that way, and this is true from 1 through 4, like it's a little disjointed.
Like Ghost Protocol, if I remember correctly, it opens with the agent. The spoilers for Mission Impossible, at least 1 through 4, opens with the agent getting away right from people chasing him. He like throws that deployable airbag. Right.
I thought I thought Ghost Protocol was like his entire team gets like.
He's in jail at the beginning, isn't he?
He is in jail.
Yeah.
But then doesn't somebody like get him out of jail?
Yeah, Benji.
Oh, I thought he. Okay.
Right, because it starts because that guy gets killed.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
and he has a guy with him.
Yeah. So that guy, yeah,
whatever that guy's name was.
It's the team, the guy that looks like Nathan Fillion to me. It's not, but he reminds me of him. It's him, Benji, and the girl.
Right.
In the beginning
right.
set piece.
Yes, you're right.
And then he's walking away. He's like, cool, I did it. And then the girl shoots him.
Sorry, I was thinking of later.
Yeah, and then they're like, we need to get Ethan.
Yeah.
And then they break him out of prison. They have that whole prison set where like with the music and like opening all the cells and stuff.
Yeah,
which I love that entire opening part. There it's like, and just him being annoyed with Benji being like, no, go the other way. And he's like, open the fucking doors. And he's like, all right, I'll just fucking wait here. I'm like, I'll wait. And like, I love that whole opening sequence, which then leads to the whole like light the fuse, and it goes right into the credits.
Right.
I don't know. I'm a sucker for these movies.
Yeah, I do think the credits are really cute, like the opening credits for all of them.
And the theme. Banger.
Excellent theme. I never watched like the original show, so I have no context for that. But
yeah, the first movie is the most like the show, just kind of smaller scale.
Small scale stuff, yeah. And
obviously this was in the 60s.
I remember Ghost Protocol was okay, and then I saw that they were on Netflix, so I was like, okay, let me just watch them, because they've always like, I always knew they existed, and I was like, I will maybe watch those eventually. I don't know.
Right.
But then I never got to, and I was like, you know what, whatever.
You have to rent the next one, by the way.
Rip. I'll watch it, whatever. So I started watching the first one, and I was like, why does this vibe feel so different from the fourth movie?
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched the second one, and I was like, again, this vibe is completely different from the fourth movie.
It's like, because you just feel the fakeness.
It's not even like you feel the fakeness, but
like the helicopter and the train thing, it looks so bad.
Like a part of me, I feel like I'm like, can I even blame them? Like they didn't have the technology to like make it look as good as it would today.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, this just, it's not the same vibe, you know?
Yeah.
And like a part of it, I think it was just like a little goofier. And every single woman on screen is in love with Tom Cruise.
That does tone down.
It did, which I appreciated. Like in the fourth movie, I didn't notice it as much, but in the first and second movie, I was like, why is every single woman in love with Tom Cruise? Can y'all chill out?
Yeah.
Like this is too much.
Yeah.
And even like, I think this is in the first movie where his team gets like killed off, and then like it's John Voight and his super young, super hot wife.
Yep.
Which I was like, first of all, how am I supposed to believe that they're in this long-term committed marriage, loving marriage to each other?
Money.
When she doesn't look like she was even old enough to be married to him for more than like 2 years max. Okay.
Well, she's probably like in her late 20s.
She looks so young. Maybe because he's like already older in this movie that like
right.
she looked even younger. But I was like, this girl's like 20 years old.
Right.
But yeah, so I was watching, and then like throughout the movie they kept having these like scenes where like I'm like, her husband just got killed, or at least this is how they frame the movie.
Right.
They're like, oh, my husband's dead, like, oh, what am I gonna do without him? I'm so devastated. But then right after those scenes, they'll have scenes where she's like flirting with Tom Cruise, and I'm like, your husband just died like a day ago, can you chill out?
Nah, dude, she's free of the old dude. She can have sex now. You think he's getting it up? Now she can actually have sex with someone.
I guess, but I was just like, wow, this is weird. But yeah, no, I just felt like it was mildly goofy. Not particularly bad, but not good.
I think it is. The first one is my second least favorite movie. The least favorite being 2. I think 2 is just bad.
I can't even remember what happens in 2.
Opens with him rock climbing.
Oh yes,
Which he did do.
Oh, that's what I meant to say. all those scenes where I'm like, I know for sure that Tom Cruise is doing all this crazy stuff because he likes to play a risky game with his own life, stress me out. Because as we were watching it, I kept asking Mark questions because he's seen all the movies, and I was like, who is insuring this man?
Oh, okay. So does he know those? Does he know how that works?
I don't think so.
I didn't know if he told you. That's what I meant. Okay, so if I remember correctly, the first and second movies were insured by just regular schmegular insurance companies.
Right.
In the third movie was when he made his own production company.
Right. I noticed that,
and
actually.
bought the rights to it. And everyone was like, back when it happened, everyone was like, this is the worst idea on the planet. Like, they were calling him an idiot. Like, they were like, you're going to lose everything.
Right.
And then, of course, 3 is where it all started, kind of like exploded and led to what we're at now. But if I remember correctly, the time period between 2 and 3, they were like getting all the planning together, and insurance companies were like, we're not gonna insure this. Like, that's insane. And so he would fire them and find a new insurance company that would say yes.
Right.
So that's also what he would do with stunt coordinators. He'd be like, this is what we're gonna do, and the guy'd be like, I'm not doing that. Like, someone's gonna get hurt, and he'd be like, all right, cool, fire that guy and get someone that'll say yes. So nobody would insure him. So then he just made his own insurance company to insure him. So that way he didn't have to worry about it.
I mean, that makes sense, because what insurance company is in their right mind is like, yes, Tom Cruise, we will insure you to do this ridiculous stuff.
Yeah. It's like, Action Park, that whole story.
Uh-huh.
With Fracture Park,
Yeah.
where they made their own insurance company because insurance companies wouldn't get them. But then it was still so bad for their own insurance company. They're like, we can't insure you either. Like, they created it, and even they were like, nope.
This is not going to work out. But you know what I mean? Because I'm like, because even by the first movie, like, Tom Cruise was pretty famous already.
Yeah.
And, like, a household name.
I think between 2 and 3 is when he was, like, in that crazy era, I think. When, like,
with Katie Holmes?
The whole thing with, like, Oprah Winfree when he jumped up on her
Katie
couch or
Holmes.
whatever. Yeah. I don't really understand any of that. I never looked into it because it seemed like it would be cringy to watch, and I can't do that. But, like, I never actually figured out why that's, like, a low point thing.
Oh, because he's... So if I remember correctly, he was married to Nicole Kidman.
Yes.
In the 90s, and then they got divorced, and she was elated.
Okay.
And then he started dating Katie Holmes, and he was like super mega ultra in love with her, like obsessed with Katie Holmes.
Okay.
And
in a good or bad way?
I guess bad, since they got divorced.
That's fair, right?
But and this was also like, he was already like pretty deep into Scientology.
Right.
And in that like Oprah interview, I don't know if he was on on drugs or something, but he was just like going off the fucking rails in this interview. You know how usually in an interview it's like, okay, you sit in your chair and I sit in my chair, and then we have a nice cordial discussion about like my next coming up project.
Right.
No, he was jumping up and down, running around the set, like going crazy about how much he's in love with Katie Holmes, and Oprah's just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do?
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I get, yeah, that was like between those things where like, and so everyone was like, this is the worst fucking idea you've ever had.
Right.
You're gonna be bankrupt, and we're never
Probably
because
because again. So I could see why people thought it was a bad idea, because he was probably just off of that ridiculousness with
and then
Oprah.
J.J. Abrams was like, we'll do it. My production company will grab it. Sundance, I think it's Tom Cruise's or whatever. And like we'll do the thing. We'll get it going.
Right.
And so then they made 3, and everyone was like, this is awesome. And then he went from there. And I think it's just Bad Robot is one of like the people that helped make it, but they're just one of the supporting studios now.
But Bad Robot is his company?
Bad Robot is J.J. Abrams.
Oh, gotcha.
Because J.J. Abrams was like the one that like gave him the chance.
Gotcha.
He was like, I'll make the movie. Let's do it.
Right.
Like, we'll do it with my production company, and then that went from there. And I think Sundance is
Tom
Cruise's.
Cruise. Gotcha.
I think. And then I want to say it's No, it's not Ghost Protocol because Ghost Protocol is directed by Brad Bird, which is the guy that did Incredibles.
I know.
Yeah, he did that one, and then I think he was gonna come back, but he couldn't, scheduling conflicts or something. So then Christopher McQuarrie did Rogue Nation, the one after, and then I believe it's just been him since, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Like once he did Rogue Nation with Christopher McQuarrie, he was like, we're doing stuff together forever. Like Top Gun 2 was with Christopher McQuarrie. Like they've just kind of figured out exactly how they work together, and so like they've been a thing since. I do think it's funny because in the beginning of Dead Reckoning,
that's like
movie,
the most recent one.
They were doing like interviews and stuff before the movie ever even came out, being like, oh, like Tom Cruise is like, we do the big stunt first in case I die, then we just don't continue. But I was like,
I mean, that makes sense,
yeah,
but also
I have the reverse thought process of like, wouldn't you want to do the big stunt last so that way you pay everyone for the end of the movie? If you die in the stunt, you still have the rest of the movie that you could put out and just the stunt doesn't need to happen.
Okay, but then what do you do for the rest of the movie?
Well, no, because you've done everything else.
I guess
like you film everything and the stunt is last.
But would it be distasteful to release that film?
It's Tom Cruise. You think you'd think he'd be like, no, fucking put it out. If I die in this crash, you make sure you put this movie out.
I guess.
Like he would. Let's be real here.
But no, because if he's saying like, oh, we do the big stunt first so that if I die, then we don't have to make the movie. Save everyone their time and effort.
Well, yeah, but if the point would be that he'd be like, no, put it out, then everyone gets the time and effort anyway. They get the movie, and it just doesn't have that stunt because he died.
I know, but wouldn't that feel weird to like work on that movie post-production?
I don't know. If it's in his will, I feel like it's there.
I guess that's fair.
But I don't know. Maybe that's the reason, just so that if anything bad happens, then they just scrap it. But like, I don't know, because he's a big person on like making sure people keep their jobs and shit. Like. But if someone's doing something wrong, that he will yell at them and fire them. Like there was that whole thing with him yelling about COVID. Oh, you never saw that?
Mm-mm.
There was a whole thing during the pandemic when they finally were like, basically, I think it was Fallout. They were filming Fallout, and like the requirements for that movie, like they were so strict on everything to make sure everybody was social distancing, et cetera, like everything they could, because they were the first movie to start production. During COVID.
During quarantine, rather.
Yeah, during quarantine. And people were, and like somebody on set was doing something they weren't supposed to, breaking guidelines or whatever. And he like flips. And it's somebody recording the whole thing. And he's like, I'm on the phone with like every fucking, producer and everything because they're looking to us to make sure that we could start making movies again, like screaming. He's like, you do this shit again, you're fucking out of here. You're fired. You're going to cost everyone here their fucking jobs. People can't afford to not be working. They're going to go home and not be able to pay their fucking rent. Like,
oh my God.
And he's like going off on these people that were like,
right.
And he's like, you cannot do this shit. And it's like a 5-minute video of him just fucking yelling about how this is so important and whatever. And like, in a way, also bragging about the fact that this is how important it is and how like big of an influence he has, that like people are looking to this movie to figure out if they can do their own productions,
right,
and stuff like that. So like it comes off kind of
cocky,
but also like he is doing it for the right reason,
right,
kind of thing. Like that's like there's a few of those things that have happened through like Mission Impossible era stuff where he's like blown up, but like it's for a good reason. And you understand it, but also it's coming off in a way that feels cocky and like a bit too aggressive,
right? Right.
But like also, I remember when like everyone there was like it was split, right? Because people in the movie industry are like stuff like that were like, no, I totally get why he's fucking pissed. Like,
right?
Nobody else is able to make movies right now, and he's trying to make sure that something can start so that way other people can do it. Like, he should be pissed, like,
right?
Because if they get shut down, everyone's out of the fucking job until they lift quarantine,
right? For months on end.
Yeah, and then other people are like, he's being so like mean. Like, and it's like, yeah, but it's kind of justified,
right?
But yeah, so like he really gives a shit about people, and like there's a lot of stories and interviews with like people that are his castmates and whatever. There's an interview, Graham Norton, that interview show, the one in Britain.
Oh yes. There's one. I was like, that name is so familiar.
Yeah, there's one with the Fallout cast All of them are there. Henry Cavill, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, and Tom Cruise. And they were talking about like their first big paycheck, like that they ever got.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did they spend it on?
Right.
And Henry Cavill was like, oh, I bought an Aston Martin.
Right.
And Simon Pegg's like, something fucking also kind of trivial or whatever.
Right.
And then then Graham Norton asked Tom Cruise, and he's like, do you remember what you spent it on? He goes, oh, yeah. He just leaves it at that. And he's like, all right, I want to ask you. And Tom's like, no. What did you spend it on? And he was like, I paid for my 2 sisters' entire college tuitions.
Oh, that's nice.
And Simon Pegg's like, that's exactly what you would fucking do. Of course you would. It's such a fucking Tom Cruise move. And Henry Cavill's like, I feel like I was just set up. Like, he was like, oh, I get
Aston Martin
he was like, I get a car. And he's like, and Simon Pegg like makes a joke where he's like, yeah, and he bought a college tuition and a house for his sisters and homed orphanages, orphans that were abandoned by families, like. So, like, there are a lot of stories of him being, like, a really generous and really nice person and, like, stuff like that. But he's also just fucking insane.
Right.
So there's also a bunch of stories of him being fucking psychotic.
Yeah. No, I feel like he's such a
complex person.
Yes. Yes. In that, like, I think a part of it is, like, I feel like Tom Cruise is not, like, meaning to be malicious or like outwardly mean, but I think he just can't help himself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, he also has a bit of a Napoleon complex.
Like, he just seems like, I noticed this actually because I know he's not very tall IRL.
Sure isn't. And it's so funny watching behind the scenes where he's like on stilted
yeah,
shoes.
and like in these Mission Impossible movies, because I kept noticing that, like, again, this is smart of the movie, but the way they would frame shots is always to make him look taller. Mm-hmm. Or if he's next to, like, an actress, they always try to get them as close to at least, like, same height. Yeah. But never shorter.
Yeah. I will say, I want to say in, I think, hold on. I want to say, like, in my review for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, I pointed out the fact that he actually was shorter than people. And I was like, wow. Like, good for him.
Wow, 30 years later, and he's ready to be shorter than people.
I want to say that was. I'm gonna look for my thing. So
yeah,
keep talking. But yeah, he does have a bit of an Napoleon complex. There's some times where he's next to people, and you're like, he is nowhere near the same height as them.
Which, like, I guess I get it, but also, like, I feel like Tom Cruise has been known as, like, an action hero his whole career. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, or at least from the very, like, minimal things that I hear about Tom Cruise, people are ever, like, dogging on him for being short, you know?
If anything, they dog on him for pretending not to be.
You know what I mean? Like, if anything, doesn't it feel like he's almost drawing more attention to it?
Yeah. But, like, most people just don't think about it unless...
I guess that's fair. It's like in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, where they have to make him look like he's at least the same height as Zendaya, even though she's taller than him.
It's always funny listening to those stories when he's like talking about that, like when they swing onto the bridge in the third movie and he's trying to put her down because she's taller than him.
Her feet keep landing first,
and he's just hovering there.
He's like, "All right, here I am."
Yeah, which I think is really funny. But anyway,
the third movie has Maggie Q in it, who I think is very pretty.
Is she the wife?
No, she's just some random woman.
Oh, okay.
Who's like on the team.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the wife, I think we see her in the second movie and then she like dies.
In the second movie? No. That's the third.
Oh, that's the third.
The third movie is when you see the wife.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's the third.
It starts with him being like traffic control.
They're having like their engagement party or something.
Yeah, they're having a party, and that's when you find out when someone's like asking about what he does.
Yeah.
He's like, you touch a brake and you can see the ripple effect
so
from
funny.
miles. And then the guy next to him was like, God, he's so boring, and they're like, he's so hot though. But it's true because like no one would want to fucking listen to
Yeah, who cares?
traffic control. So that's
Yeah.
a great place to
Great
put
cover,
yeah.
like the most boring on paper job you could think of.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that third movie, where I like that whole like opening sequence of like the engagement party. Like it makes Ethan feel a little more like a real person. Because in the first two movies, I noticed this as well. Like I don't know why, but certain roles that Tom Cruise is in, sometimes the way he plays the roles, there's like literally nothing behind his eyes. Where I'm just like
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, is there anything going on back there? Because it doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, the Mummy.
Completely dead. The Mummy, great example. Just completely dead in the eyes, because it's not even something he does every single time. Where I could be like, oh, okay, this is just like something that's not in his skill set. But it's so weirdly inconsistent, and it's extra weird for it to be like inconsistent within one franchise.
Right.
Like, because in the first two movies, I was like, there is not one feeling in there.
Yeah.
None. Zero.
Uh-huh.
And then in the third movie, like, you can see there's light in his eyes, and you're like, wow, he is a person.
Yeah.
Like he feels like he's like weirdly alien in the first two movies. And I don't know if that was like a like director's choice of like, oh, you want to be like cool and like, you know, stone
Aloof.
cold, like
Yeah.
badass, you know, kind of character. So I do appreciate that, like, at least as it goes on, they make him more human.
Yeah, I agree.
Also in the, what is it, in the fourth one where he like scales that
The Burj Khalifa. No.
hotel?
That's Rogue Nation, isn't it? That's the fifth.
Are you sure? Did I watch the fifth one?
No, that is the fourth.
I was gonna say, I feel like it was the fourth, because that's when they introduced Jeremy Renner.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I was thinking I had the wrong teams for each movie in my head. You're right.
Oh no, they introduced him in the third one, Jeremy Renner.
No, they introduced him in the fourth.
Oh, so did I watch the fifth movie?
No. The fourth movie is the one he climbs. I was just wrong.
Oh, okay.
Ignore me.
Okay.
I was wrong.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, no. The fourth. So third is the bridge explosion stunt, which isn't really much of a stunt, but like he gets pulled into a car,
right,
and like slams himself against it. Like that was like the big stunt.
Right.
4 is the Burj Khalifa. 5 is the plane. 6.
Oh wait, where he's like hanging off of the plane?
Yeah.
Wait, so I did watch that one?
And the.
I think I did watch that one.
And
then.
the plane and the water where he holds his breath for 7 minutes or whatever.
In the sixth one?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see that.
No. In the same one. Plane and water are the same ones.
Oh, okay.
And then the next one, there's quite a few, mostly the helicopter stunt. Which, fun fact about that movie and the helicopter stunt, there are 2. One where he's hanging from a helicopter and another where he's flying one.
Okay.
There was a stunt that had to be done with the helicopter where it was like flying down into like a mountain area and like coming back up. And any stunt pilot was like, I'm not fucking doing that. That's insane. So during the movie, Tom Cruise took stunt helicopter pilot classes, 250 plus out. As far as I'm aware, this is the story I heard. 250 plus hours of helicopter flying time to get his stunt pilot's license while filming the movie to then do it himself.
I just, like, a part of me, I don't understand the desire.
You gotta respect it, though.
No, I do. Like, I respect the craft. I do think he's very good at stunts. I am always impressed and always stressed out because I'm like,
I like how you're stressed out even though you know he's fine.
no, but you know what I mean? Like, I know it's a movie and I know he obviously made it out because there's 20 more after this movie that I'm watching, right?
Right.
But every single time,
everyone and their mother would hear when Tom Cruise dies.
I know, right? But like every single, especially I remember because the first one I watched was that like scaling the hotel.
Yeah.
I was like, who in their right mind is just like, I'm gonna do this today.
Because he's Tom Cruise.
Like, hello? And then the stupid suction cup thing stopped working, and I was like, I need to go. I need to exit the premises.
It's so cool. He's so cool.
It's just so stressful to watch.
But he's so cool. You can't say he isn't.
No, I think it is cool. And then, like, even, like, in the second movie with the opening scene of him, like, doing that free climb up the, like, mountain or whatever it is, looks cool. I'm very impressed. I'm very stressed out.
Right.
Like, I'm just like, I know, at least for me, maybe because I'm just such a scaredy cat for, like, basically everything, but I'm like, in no world am I volunteering myself to do these things.
Right. I mean, that's fair.
Like, what?
But it's so cool.
It's insanity. Do you think, like, Tom Cruise, he's like, I only get one life. I might as well acquire, like, as many skills as I can before I die.
Yeah, why not? In Maverick, he did all he did the regular plane flying. They didn't actually let any of the people fly the actual plane, the F.
I was going to say, I can't imagine they would
pilots.
let them fly the actual plane.
He tried.
It's, like,
They
too
didn't let him.
expensive, right?
Yeah, they didn't let him. But he did do the regular flying.
Right.
Because he does have a pilot's license.
Right.
But yeah. So cool.
What was Tom Cruise's first movie? Or, like...
Ever?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably some random ass fucking movie.
Probably. But, no, I think, the movies are fairly enjoyable. They're kind of like just popcorn movies, you know? You don't need to be, like, super invested in them, but there's nice flashy things happening on the screen.
Endless Love.
I kind of feel like I know what that is.
It's his first movie, and then he did Risky Business like 2 years after, which everybody knows.
Oh, that's him with, like, the...
When he slides across the floor, yeah.
Yes.
He was in 4 movies, and then Risky Business came out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Endless Love was his first.
In 1981.
Yep.
Wow.
So, I think who do you think the best villain is of the 4 that you've watched?
The best villain. Okay, so let me think about the villains. The first one was John Voight and his too attractive young wife.
Too attractive young. Well, yep.
The second villain. Who was the second villain? Was that also like the
dude that was in love with the girl? He wanted the rabbit's foot. No, not the rabbit's foot. That's 3. What the fuck's his name? They do the knife stunt that they actually did do.
The knife stunt?
Yeah, when the knife stops right before his eye.
Ugh.
Because they did do that.
Why? Just why?
Daughtry Scott. He's forgettable.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't
Regardless,
even remember.
He's fucking forgettable.
I don't even remember the villain. The third one is the rabbit's foot nonsense, but also they have his wife. Oh, right, because the guy wants Tom Cruise to go get it, or else he'll kill his wife.
What I like about that movie is you never find out what the rabbit's foot is. It doesn't matter.
I guess that's
It
fair.
really is just the MacGuffin for the story that you never find out about. But the third movie is Philip Seymour Hoffman before he died.
Yes. And then the fourth one, who was the villain there?
In the fourth movie, that's what the?
I don't know if it's just that I have very little investment in these movies, but like the plot is pretty forgettable.
I think Philip Seymour Hoffman's the best villain.
I would agree because I remember him.
Just like he has such a presence.
Yeah, he's good in that role.
Yeah, and like anything that Cruise does to him, he then does again to does back.
Yeah,
like 100-fold, and it's so like good.
More satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome in that movie. But I don't know. I feel like
I'm trying to think. I'm like, who's the fourth movie villain?
Oh, it's the fucking dude that doesn't talk. You know, he's trying to get the bomb the entire time. And he like
Wait, was this like one where they had like nuclear codes or something?
Yep.
Okay, I remember now.
he jumps down from the car park 'cause he's like, "You're not gonna get it."
Right.
He jumps with it, and then Cruz gets in the car and drops.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
So goofy.
But I love later where he's like, where Vic Rames is like, "And you actually said that."
Yeah.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
He's like, "God, Ethan, what are
Like,
you?"
it's so goofy.
Yeah. I love Vic Rames. I like that he just shows up every time just to get his fucking paycheck and chill.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I will say, like, I don't know if this is because of the original TV show, but it being called the Impossible Mission
Force.
Force
IMF. Yeah.
is so stupid.
It is from the show, the IMF.
Like, they just sound so silly.
Yeah, it's funny anytime like the government gets involved in the stuff.
I know it is okay
because the government agencies are like the impossible mission force.
Yeah.
Really?
Come on now.
And he's like, yeah, but like we always get our job done, so like.
So it's not so impossible, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I asked this to Mark because I noticed this. I was like, wait, is there a new crew every single movie? And also, does he go rogue in every single movie?
No. Well, yes, no.
Yes, there's new crew.
He started getting new crew every time because actors couldn't come back.
Right.
And then it got big enough that actors couldn't come back.
Oh, okay.
The group in 5 basically all like Simon Pegg becomes a constant. Vic Rames is a constant. Jeremy Renner was supposed to be but couldn't because of their scheduling conflicts.
Because he moved on to Avengers.
Basically, like Marvel got in the way.
Yeah.
And which is funny because he was also set up to be supposed to be the person that takes over Tom Cruise's role.
No one's taking over that role.
But
Tom Cruise is gonna die, and then there will never be another Mission Impossible.
Yeah, but
again.
that's basically what it was.
Right.
And then because there was a big push in Hollywood at that time to make Jeremy Renner like the head of a lot of stuff, which is why he did like the Bourne movie and everything.
I noticed that actually. I was thinking about that while I was watching the 4th movie, where I was like, what is all this like young Jeremy Renner?
Yeah,
thing
he was
on?
like they were trying to make him like the poster boy of Hollywood.
I know,
for
but
a
what
hot minute.
happened? Because he was
Just didn't work out. Just people weren't
into him.
The Bourne movie wasn't good. And a few of the other stuff just like
Because
weren't good projects.
Because it had already been Mark Wahlberg like for 3 movies, right?
It's not Mark Wahlberg. It's Matt Damon. God, if those movies were fucking Mark Wahlberg.
They look the same. I'm sorry. It was already
What?
in my opinion, Mark Wahlberg and Matt Damon literally identical. I genuinely cannot tell them apart. Like if you point to like a movie poster or like an image from a movie and be like, which one is it? I will not know.
Fucking what?
They look the same to me. Now that they're older, not as much, but like usually I can't tell them apart.
That is wild to say.
You don't think they look alike?
No.
I think they look so
I
similar.
also fucking hate Mark Wahlberg. So
Wait, which one's Mark Wahlberg? Is he the one in Ted?
yes. They don't look similar.
So what's Matt Damon in?
A lot of things. The Martian,
I
the
didn't watch
Goodwill
that.
Hunting.
Isn't that both of them? Matt Damon and Mark Wahlberg? Oh no, it's Ben
that's
Affleck.
Ben Affleck and Matt Damon because they're friends and they always are in a lot of things together.
Oh. Yeah, those two confuse me. I get them mixed up all the time.
Okay, sure, whatever. Keep going.
They're like the only 2 actors where I get them mixed up a lot, but I do think they look alike.
Sure.
But yeah, so the Bourne movies, it had already been Matt Damon?
Yes, he was in the first 3.
Okay, so it had already been him 3 in the first 3, and then they want to do Jeremy Renner, and then samesies with Mission Impossible.
Yes.
And he was also in something else at that time. In this like push for Jeremy Renner.
I don't remember. There was a few things he was in, but yeah, it just didn't work out. He was supposed to be like a replacement for Tom Cruise.
Unlucky.
But then yeah, he they were originally gonna write that his character died. They didn't, so theoretically he could come back. But then basically in the 5th movie you get like your constant crew.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
yeah. And then no, he's not always on the run from his people.
Oh, I was gonna say, because it felt
Not always
like
the case.
every single movie I was like, is he just getting disavowed and or going rogue every single movie? Good lord.
But yeah, no, not every movie. But it does happen a lot.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it was funny. Like, that happened in Rogue Nation. Oh, no. Which one is it? Ghost Protocol.
Yep.
Which is the first one I watched. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, they gotta, like, be under the radar. Like, they don't have their resources. Great. And then I watched the first one, and I was like, wait, they got his whole team got killed, and now they're all getting disavowed because they got
Well,
murked.
he is because they think he did it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then doesn't it happen in the second movie too?
In the second
Oh no,
movie,
maybe not in the second one.
No, but I think it happens in the 3rd.
Yeah. So I was like, wait, does he just not get to get any resources?
Yeah, it happens in the 3rd.
Every single time.
Yeah. It happens at least one more time. Yeah.
Also, I noticed this as well, like the 3D printed, like the masks that they have.
Yeah.
The only time where I was like, okay, this is not Tom Cruise wearing a mask, was when he was like had the mask as Philip
Seymour
Hoffman. Thank you.
What I like about it is that they put on the mask and it's always an in-camera trick because it looks bad.
Right.
But then like they do the turn and like they act like they're tightening the mask
Right.
and then it's just
Like,
the
so
actor.
it's, like,
Yeah,
forming
just
to
the
his
actor.
face, right.
Yeah. I always like that visual.
No, I like that. I think it's cute and I think it works for them, you know?
Yeah.
But like, it's so funny because I feel like Tom Cruise has a very like distinctive facial features. And so whenever he puts a like mask on, like you can still see his features through the mask, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I remember in the opening of, I think the first movie where they're like, have like that fake hotel room or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. In the 4th movie. That's when they do the hotel room switch out.
So what's the scene in the
He pretends to be one of the secretaries in the room. In the first movie.
But
He,
aren't
shoots
they
all the people.
aren't they like in a room and the girl is tied up? And they're like trying to get information out of somebody?
Isn't that the 4th?
Oh, why did I think that was
The masks don't work in the 4th. Correction. The whole thing with Brad Bird is that he made the movie where all the gadgets failed.
Oh.
That was the whole point in the movie.
Gotcha.
So masks were in 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, so I thought
1 he gasses a room because to get information. 2, the villain pretends to be Ethan,
Right.
kills the guy.
Right.
So they think he did it.
Oh, right. I
And
remember
then in the
that.
3rd he puts on a mask for Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Right. But I thought in the first movie they were in like a dingy kind of room, and the John Voight's too attractive young wife is like captured.
Yes, is he?
And he's like, he has the mask,
Uh-huh.
and he's trying to get info, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, great, we got it." And then he walks out of the room. And
Yes.
maybe he does gas the guy.
No, you're right.
But he
Yeah,
walks
yeah.
out of the room and he like takes it off, and it's like the reveal, right? Because
Yes.
that's like the opening scene
Mhm.
of the movie, and it's like, oh, it was Tom Cruise all along.
Yes.
You know,
You're right.
that's what I thought. I was like, I feel like I remember that because I thought it was done well. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I like the 3D masks. I think they're cute. I like the concept of them.
Right.
And I like that they keep it interesting, you know? Because it's not just every single time like, oh, Tom Cruise is like being somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, it works out. I like it. And I like the like tech that they have is very cute. And I did think this was funny, especially in the first movie, like the high tech stuff that they had. where I was looking at it, I was like, it just, because you know when like movies that were made like in the 80s or 90s and they're like, oh, this is like the super ultra fancy technology we'll have in like 40 years from now.
Yeah.
But it looks extremely dated because it's from that like 90s point of view of what technology is gonna look like.
Yep.
And so they had like the I think it was them like in that opening scene again of like surveilling like how the interrogation is going or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
And it's these like teeny tiny screens and these huge thick keyboards.
Yep. What I like about these movies though is that like they constantly get, like, to me at least, they improve each time. Minus
I
one
would
and
agree.
two.
I would agree with that.
Two goes down, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they all get better each time. The only reason why I would say I'm hesitant about saying that 7 is better is because it's a part 1.
Oh,
and
that's the most recent one,
yeah,
right?
and like it feels like a part 1. You know, so like I hesitate to like put it somewhere in a ranking
Until part 2 comes out.
Yeah, like I have it in my ranking, but it's like it really will change depending on how good part 2 is. You know, because like unlike, you know, say Spider-Verse,
Right.
where like Spider-Verse feels like a finished movie. Into the Spider-Verse, like where
Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, sorry. Feels like a finished movie.
Right.
Dead Reckoning Part 1 doesn't. But they're also apparently like changing the name, but it's like you already have it labeled as Part 1, so why the fuck would you change it now?
Right.
It's a whole thing. But yeah, it does feel like a part of a story. So like it doesn't feel like it's completed, so I'm hesitant to say that it's better or worse.
Right.
But it was still good. But like I think literally it goes like in order on my list.
Is that
from like
supposed to be the last one, part 2?
Well, until they announce another one.
I guess that's fair.
But yeah, yes, technically. But I like 5 and 6 are incredible. I think 6 is a downright perfect action movie. Like,
Wow.
it's so fucking good. Well, at least spy action movie.
Right. Spy
Henry
movie
Cavill,
with a little bit of action.
Yeah, Henry Cavill reloads his fists. It's
Wait,
great.
is what's the movie with Henry Cavill and he's like extra beefed up in this movie and he wears like a light gray or beige or cream turtleneck and he's wearing leather pants and he has a mustache and he's fighting someone like hand to hand. It's a very specific look. It's in my mind. I don't know what it's from.
Turtleneck.
Yeah, he's wearing a turtleneck and he has a mustache. And apparently this movie was at the same time as Justice League. That's why they had to CG off his mustache.
Well,
because he couldn't cut it off because he was filming the other movie at the same time.
That was Fallout, but I don't remember him being in leather pants.
He wasn't wearing like leather brown pants and like a cream thick wool turtleneck.
The only fight scenes I remember him being all right. So I think there is a scene with him in a turtleneck.
It could be from not Mission Impossible.
No. It 100% was the same time period because Mission Impossible was when he had the mustache and they wouldn't let him shave it.
Right.
But like leather pants
Henry
is throwing me.
Cavill. Hold please, because maybe I did watch that movie, and I just have no memory of it. Minus Henry Cavill. All I wrote was impossible. Mission Impossible. Here we go. I must find the leather pants. I have such a distinct image of him wearing a cream or tan or beige or something along those lines, turtleneck.
This is like the most iconic thing from that. But
yeah, I remember that. But was he not wearing a turtleneck?
I don't think he ever was. No.
Why do I have this image of him wearing a turtleneck and brown leather pants?
Idea, dude.
Am I going crazy? Have I lost it completely?
Probably.
Hold on, let me just look up Henry Cavill turtleneck and see if I get a better result. Turtle. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Hold on. Is this just from like a press or that's like a movie? Wait, no. See, look. Oh wait, he's no mustache there though. Damn it.
I was gonna say like there's this new movie that he's in, but like I don't think he's wearing leather pants in this one either. He also doesn't have a
Why does
mustache
his hair look like that?
because it's supposed to be a character that somebody designed.
No.
He's playing like a character someone wrote.
It looks like
It's such a bad look on him, but I think that's the
I was
point.
gonna say it looks like like Dolph
supposed to look
Lundgren in like
crazy.
the 80s.
Yeah.
That like hairstyle.
Who, fun fact, has a master's in chemical engineering.
Really?
Yeah.
That is very surprising.
Chemical or bioengineering? Yeah.
Huh.
Super smart dude.
Okay, so I can't find this image of Henry Cavill. Maybe it wasn't even Henry Cavill, but I feel like it was.
Yeah, master's in chemical engineering.
Wow, good for him.
Yeah, he's also a 4th rank down black belt in karate.
Wow. What was I? What are those movies? Expendables.
Those are movies, yes.
Yeah, I was watching.
It's supposed to be all the old action heroes.
Yeah, I was watching those the other day.
1 and 3 are fun. 2 is bad. 4 doesn't exist yet, but it will.
I thought 4 came out this
Maybe it
past
did. And I
year
never watched it.
with Megan Fox, and she's Jason Statham's girlfriend, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I think so.
It did come out last year.
See, I was like, I knew it.
Wild. Well, I didn't get around to that, but yeah, 1 and 3 are fun. 2 is bad.
I have no memory of 2, which is the one
2 is just
where
fucking awful.
Sylvester Stallone, he has like a young protege type deal who he's like, all right, you can join the team.
3 has a bunch of old people. It also has Ronda Rousey in it because the whole point is they're passing the torch to a new group of people.
Okay, so maybe it's 3 where he has the young protege.
Yeah, there's young people in that movie. That's the point.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
like-
Ronda Rousey is in that.
Yeah, but
movie.
like none of them actually end up doing anything after that movie in terms of action movies
LOL.
because I don't think any of them were very big names.
I just feel like Ronda Rousey is only in action movies to be like tough bitch.
Except she hasn't been in anything in a while because I don't think people thought she couldn't act.
I think the last thing I saw her in was that and Fast and Furious 7, where she fights Michelle Rodrigo.
I'm gonna guess she loses.
Seeing as
Also,
she's
Rodriguez.
I'm sorry.
Again, why do you keep making it Rodrigo?
I don't know. In my brain, it's Rodrigo. I'm sorry.
Just such a weird thing to think.
I know. I'm so sorry. But yeah, no. Of course she loses because she's on the villains team, so she can't win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so I'm eventually gonna find this image of a person
You're not, because it
who
doesn't
is
exist.
beefed up with a mustache and wearing a cream turtleneck and brown leather pants.
Doesn't
Because I know
exist.
it exists.
Anyway, Mission Impossible movies are great. At least everything after 2.
I think they're okay.
No, they get better each time.
They are enjoyable movies to like turn your brain off to.
Plus, you're gonna love 5 because Rebecca Ferguson's in it, and Rebecca Ferguson is so hot.
I don't know who that is. Hold, please.
So hot. Love Rebecca Ferguson.
I feel like here she is, Rebecca Ferguson. Oh, wait, no, I did watch 5. I remember because we were watching it and I commented on her. I was like, wow, she's so pretty. And then I was like, oh my God, it's the mom from Dune.
Yes.
It's Paul's mom.
So you've watched 1 through 5.
Yeah, but I think because all the movies feel like pretty the same to me, I have like no way to distinguish what's what.
5
Minus-
4 and 5 feel very.
Minus like the overall quality of each film. But because it's not
Because 5 is the moment where he like launches himself up over the pipe, when he's like chained to the pipe and he gets up.
Oh, yeah.
Because he actually did that, which is really impressive.
Really impressive.
And then
I remember that.
Then there's the opera scene, which is great.
Yeah. With like the because she's on like the bad guys team and they all got like the scopes on each other.
And she puts her leg up, and you're like,
It's a nice looking leg.
yeah, you're like, damn, that leg looking fine. and then they have the thing where they show up to Casablanca and she's in the pool trying to hold her breath.
Oh right.
You can see Rebecca Ferguson in a swimsuit and you're like, nice. And then they go to the thing and they have to change out the code because Benji can walk through the thing.
Oh right.
And he has to hold his
Yeah,
breath
yeah.
the entire time.
Yes.
That thing I said earlier that you were like acting like you had never heard of in your life.
Well, now that you're saying it, I remember it.
For the second time.
For the second time.
Okay.
You should have led with what's her name? Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah, and then
you should have led with that the first time, and then I would have known what you were talking about.
Because then that guy, the main villain for that, is where like he finally tricks him with the I remembered all the fucking numbers. You can't kill any of us, otherwise you lose your money.
Right.
And then he gets him in the box.
Right.
And he's like, look who's trapped in a box now, motherfucker.
Yes.
So fucking cool.
Because they were like, well, we can't give them like the code.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's all right, I got it.
Yeah, I remembered all of it, so
yeah,
you have to keep me alive.
But also, like, isn't it implied that it's like a lot of numbers to remember?
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
He proved that he did remember some of them.
Oh, good for him.
No, remember, because he says it.
Oh, yeah,
and
he starts
checks,
like, right.
And he's like, I memorized all of it. I'm your disc. You can't blow me up.
Oh, because he destroyed the real one, right? Or the physical disc?
He could have also just lied and only remembered like 2.
That's also true.
He only needed to remember 1 for it to prove it.
It's a good bluff.
Yeah, so... but yeah. And then they have the whole moment with the fake out where like they shoot the 2 people with like lie or truth serums, the prime minister and the leader of MI6, I think.
Oh, because he was the villain, right?
Yeah. And
he was doing like the shady stuff.
Yeah, because what's his name is trying to shut them down.
Yeah. The CIA, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin is trying to shut them down, and then he finds out that they weren't crazy, and he gets on their side to help them.
Yes,
and, he's
and
like,
him and Jeremy Renner are beefing.
Yes, because Jeremy Renner's running the IMF, but there's no secretary.
Okay, that's why I got confused, because that's why I was like, didn't they introduce Jeremy Renner in the 3rd movie? Because I was like, I know I saw him in 2 movies.
Yeah, no, in the 4th, because then he becomes the like liaison for the IMF, but he's not the secretary. But there is no secretary. That's why he like Alec Baldwin's all fucking pissed because he's like, you keep doing all the shit, and he's like, I can neither confirm nor deny. They express
yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, they're like, so do you think this would work? And he's like, I can neither confirm nor deny without the secretary's express permission. And then he walks up to Alec Baldwin and he's like, welcome to the IMF, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and then
that movie was good.
It was. That movie was great.
Maybe I'll watch them again, but like this time with more engagement and thought put into it. Because the thing is, these movies don't like, because they're really not like,
just start from 3.
They're not really like for me, if that makes sense. Like not my cup of tea. So I'm just like, this sure is a movie I'm watching right now. And it's not like such great whatever that I'm like more interested than I would be otherwise.
No, 4, 5, and 6 are fantastic movies.
But yes, 5 was quite good now that I'm remembering what 5 was.
5 is fucking fantastic, and then 6 is even better.
But I think also my problem is because each movie feels very similar, I have like a hard time distinguishing like what happened in each movie. You know what I mean? Because he gets a new team every fucking movie, and he gets disavowed or has to go rogue in every movie.
He only has to do that for 2 of them. Just
feels
pay more
like,
attention. They're really not all that similar. They have very different vibes in what they're trying to achieve.
Feels like
the villains have all very different plots.
No, I think yes, the villains all have like different end goals, but like Tom Cruise's Ethan is still the same. He just becomes slightly more human as you go along.
Yeah, because they start.
He's turning into a real boy. Long form Pinocchio.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching this week's episode of the Vaguely Anime Podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, like, follow. Check out Cat at Cat the Moonstar on Twitch. You have 3 weeks.
That sounds right.
To watch.
March Comes in Like a Lion.
March Comes in Like a Lion. Thank God you remember that because I didn't. March Comes in Like a Lion. Or however many episodes this is, from a 0 or a 5. I think it's 3 though.
I also think it's 3.
So yeah, we'll see you guys next week for whatever it is we talk about.
Okay, bye.